Do you want to try doing a little kill your friends action?
Yeah, if you think that's gonna help. Yeah, for sure.
I think that would definitely help for that. Like, do you want me to go on the spirit and then show you what you should try and do, and then we switch and then you do it?
Whatever you feel is best.
I think, like, the thing is, I think it could be like it can work both ways. It might be easier for me to show you like things as the spirit, so then you then know what to do yourself on the spirit, like when you're doing. Because like if I show you these tricks, you can go in, use this, and like straight away you'll notice like a difference, like instantly. Just like a few tricks, like straight up, you just know amazing. Like you'll know instantly what to do.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool thing about spirit is you don't ever need chase perks.
Okay.
And since you're gonna honestly, yeah, let's try and get you confident enough to run these add-ons. I think let's try and get you to this point right now. So the next match you go in, you can be running this combo. This is the combo. This is the best combo at the moment.
Okay.
People will argue with me here and say that the ribbon is better than the speed due to iron will.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try and get you playing in a way where it shouldn't matter too much. That 10% speed should help you just as much as the 20% charge speed, if not more.
Okay.
Best map to practice spirit on is her map. So we'll go Wrecker's Yard.
Her map. I see.
That is the comp map, at the very least.
Yeah, they're designated killer maps in comp, right?
Yes.
That's so cool. I didn't know it worked like that.
Yeah, so Spirit is Wrecker's Yard. Also played on Dead Dog Saloon. Yeah. Nurse is on the coal tower. Welcome back. Fuck's sake.
The
Sorry.
classic.
Here we go, guys. We're in on the coal tower for the 15,383rd time here. Gonna be going against the nurse again.
Just know every
Very
single
different to the
possible
last time.
layout.
Just wait until the seeds. There's gonna be one seed. And the nurse one that they create is going to have like a lot of the shelter woods, like rock loops on the edge of the map. Okay, so let's just do it. Let's teach you the basics of the spirita.
Let me find a way.
Which I think is nice. Okay, so what am I going to teach you first? Let me think. What's the most simple thing to learn as the spirit? I'm going to teach you the first thing you should ever learn as the spirit. Is that it's not always good to be in chase, right? Run right now. Run behind you. I'm in chase. I phase. Now all I can hear is can't hear you at all. And there you go. So all that happened was we entered the chase, and now I can't hear where you are because I can't hear you breathing because all I can hear is the chase music. So what you're gonna do instead is you run, run. Okay, so I'm gonna try and phase. Or, I mean, this is a bad example. I started the chase instantly. Just run this TL wall, run this TL wall, run this TL wall, and I'll show you how, like, realistically, while you're watching my chest screen, like, I would wait, and then I'd go like this, and then I'd go like this, and then I'd come around, and because you ran within the last 3 seconds, I could phase on you because you can hear, like, the breathing still, but you're basically just going to try and avoid chase if you can in situations where you can. It's not always possible. Like, sometimes you're going to, like, stand still, and then, like, see where they're going. And as long as you're walking, you can counter the phase. Because the other thing you need to know immediately... God, I'm so bad at this. The other thing you need to know immediately is that survivors stop breathing so loudly once they stop running for like a few seconds. So run right now. Run for a few seconds in front of me. Just run. And then now listen to your breathing for a few seconds. Stand still, stand still. And listen to how long it lasts loudly. You hear it still? And then...
Not anymore.
Now it's gone. And that's because after a few seconds, your character stops breathing so, like, loudly.
Okay.
It's quite an abrupt stop, too. And so, once you see a spirit, like, essentially the best way to learn spirit is to learn how to play against it, right? Once you see a spirit, you know, go to set up on a loop, you need to start walking instantly, because you already don't want to be making sounds. Because right now, you're breathing. You are breathing, but you're not breathing loud enough for me to instantly pinpoint your location. Now, if you run... Run. Ready? And let's imagine I face for you now. Now that you've been running in the last couple of seconds, you're right here.
Okay.
Directly on top of you. Like, perfect. Because you breathed, which is because you ran within the last few seconds of me starting the phase. So as long as you see the survivor running, you're safe to just begin phasing. Because they're going to be breathing loud enough for you to always be able to pinpoint that exact sound. But if you're like, let's say, let's come over here to an actual loot. Let's find something like a pallet. I guess this one's good enough. Let's say this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're on this pallet, and let's say right now we're playing this, and I'm here, and you're standing still, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna phase on you. Right now, you're walking. I don't actually know where you are. I come around, and you might just go in and throw the pallet. But see, you didn't see. It's a might. This is exactly what I mean. And you see how you went around? I might expect you to do this, but because you were walking, you actually went this way. This was a great example actually, because I have no clue what you're doing because I don't actually hear you. So you want to try and avoid that situation. So instead, what do? You do this. You ready? Stand on the pallet like you did before. You do this. And now you're forced to make a move. And so what you're doing is you're going to force them to move and then play reactionally. Is that the word?
So
reactively?
you would move and then...
So I want you to play proactively until the circumstances are met, and then I want you to play reactionally. So now watch my screen and play the pallet. You ready? Okay, ready? Go, go, go.
Yeah, no,
I shouldn't have hit you.
That's
my bad. That's my bad.
No, but I see it. I see it. That's perfect.
But, okay, so I force you, like, it's not even that I force you away from the pallet. You could have essentially done this. You could have just gone around like this and then gone back to the pallet. And in that situation, then what I would do is this phase. You ready? Before, let's picture this as, do you remember on the game when you played and there was that guy, let's pretend this is the pallet next to the drop down. You know the stairs and then the drop down thing?
Yeah, she was running straight.
Let's pretend that's this pallet. This is what you did. You ready? You went like this. And then you threw the pallet down, and then you went around. But in that situation, what you actually should have done is this. You ready? You should have gone like straight here. And this is because this is the 50-50 point on the pallet. Now, throw the pallet left or right. Now I know you're here. I can come in and hit you. And you need to get really good at pinpointing which side of the pallet the survivor throws it on. And do you know how you can do that? So what we're gonna do now is you go to another pallet. And this is easier when the survivor is injured, but when the survivor is uninjured, you'll still hear like a huh, and you can tell. You have to be really specific. This is why you need to get good at listening. But it's really specific. You can actually physically tell which side they throw the pallet on. And another cool trick too, if we're not in chase, and you go throw the pallet in the bus right now, and then watch my share screen. You see, I can actually see this circle shows me that you threw it from the left side. And that's because we're not in chase. So I physically get like an actual notification showing me you threw it on the left side here.
The notification shows you?
That's really good information. Yeah, so it just showed me because it showed the notification there. It didn't show it here.
Oh.
It shows you, the notification actually physically shows you where the pallet was from. 1 second, someone's at my door.
Okay. Well, this is like all new information to me. I had no idea the fucking notification showed which side of the pallet was dropped on. I mean, I guess you have to like know exactly where the pallet is to then be able to react, but it's still just so interesting if you're not in chase. The notif is on the object that made the noise. No, but it makes sense. What he's saying makes sense because the notification spawned over to the left here. Like the notification spawned over there. It didn't spawn on the pallet.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Those are a couple things. What else should I teach you? Okay, pallet. Ready? Come play this pallet. Right here. Greet it. Ready? Really easy trick. You'll win the pallet every single time. Ready? This is what we're gonna do. So you've greeted it now. Now watch. Ready? I stand here. You see, why am I standing here?
Because I see a red light.
No, I'm standing here because I now block the pallet from this side. So what am I going to do? I'm going to phase like this and I'm going to come here and I'm going to stand right about here. And now it doesn't matter where you go. If you start running this way, you're running into me. If you run that way, guess what? I come around here and I just hit you. You cannot get to the pallet. It's a 100% chance of hitting the survivor. You have 0 chance, especially injured, even uninjured. If you've run in the last couple of seconds, it doesn't matter which side. It actually doesn't matter, by the way. I could do it like this and then I come left. I could do it's your choice, but on some pallets, it will be specific to where you need to stand. And I'm also now going to teach you this trick, but on the shack, where you can actually outplay the survivor on the shack using this trick. And you might be confused. You might be like, oh, but they could just vault the window. But that's just it. Ready? Go on the check spot on the corner of the shack. This is what you're going to do. You block the window from the inside and you come around this way. And now you can't vault the window. And because of the nature of Spirit, the window's the closest thing they could have reached. And because I'm running the cap add-on, if you were to run in and try and get to the pallet in time, because I started my phase here, you have to like think that I might phase around this way. So a good survivor will hear the phase start, and because this is the closest way to get to you, they're going to run this way for a second. But really, I'm phasing back, so now they try and run around, and no matter what, they're not going to reach anything. This is where you have to be really careful for people who watch Ayrun on YouTube. You got to be really careful because they might just do this. They might be standing here, you start phasing, they might just run over here to this pallet. And that's where you have to be really careful.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I guess for like weaker players, they would just like stay on the tile,
Well,
right?
a lot of people will. A lot of times that you don't have a pallet there. A lot of times Shack is actually quite. This is one of the only maps where Shack is like in the middle with so much. But a lot of the time they will actually be forced to play Shack, and you will just get the hit.
No, I guess what I'm saying is like what I struggle with, for example, is let's say you phase at the window there, and instead of running or trying to find a pallet, I just go like this, and I'm healthy.
But then you use the formula. So this is the formula, right?
Yeah.
I'm here. You're on the corner. I phase, and look how fast I go. Within 2 seconds, I'm here.
Oh,
if
so
I haven't heard you run this way, and I haven't heard you run towards me, I now know you're either standing completely still or you've moved. And guess what? Because of how fast you phase, the survivor can only have gone a short distance. And I've only used 2 seconds of my phase, which is what, a 6-second phase? I've used a third of it with the 40% recharge add-on. Within 1 second, I've got my phase back. And now guess what? Within 2 seconds again, I'm on top of your head because you can't have gone far. And most of the time when survivors walk, like think about it, how far can you walk in 2 seconds? Ready? Walk. 0, 1, 2. You're
Not
there,
much.
bro. You're next to the tires.
Nothing. 0.
By the time I get to you, you're here, and I've phased here. So if I look within 1 second, I can check my surroundings, and I can tell that you've gone this way. Most of the time, there isn't anything close enough that you're going to get away from this situation.
So
Another trick I'm going to teach you. Ready? Play Shack Pallet as the survivor.
all right.
Play Shack Pallet as the survivor. This is a trick. This is a really advanced trick, though, and this only works with the add-on combo I'm running because you need Muddy Cap to make this possible. Ready?
Just drop?
Throw it and try and throw it, yeah, and then try and outplay this.
You went into the basement.
And that's because there's no omnidirectional audio with Spirit.
You went
And
into
that's
the
a trick
fucking
I made,
basement.
which I used in 1v1 ladder on DBD League against the top players in the entire world. And I used that trick against all of them. And guess how many times it didn't work? It didn't work 0 times. It worked every single time against people who are literally the best players in the entire world. So that trick, obviously people now know about it more and they're more aware of it. But regardless of whether they know or not, it's still a 50-50. And do you want to know why? Because of this phase, this other phase that I created, which is this. You ready? This is the other phase I made. And that sounds like I've gone into the basement and I'm doing the trick, but I'm actually phasing just on the edge of Shack, making a little movement here for a couple seconds, then coming around. And a lot of people who know the basement trick, this second phase that I created actually tricks them into thinking I'm doing that, so they end up on this side of the pallet, and then you come around and hit them. And that's how I pulled off the basement trick, or this Shack mind game, against people multiple times. You might be like, oh, but if they hear you phasing around that way, they can just go to the window, right? Well, that's funny you say that, because a lot of the time when they go to the window, they'll like react for a second, right? But most of the time with the cap, if you hear them run away from here, which you can do from where I was with Spirit, you can hear them running away. Most of the time you make it over here in time to the window before they get there. Most of the time, this like the survivor would have to pre-jack the window run, which they can't do because of the opportunity of the Spirit going left here. They might go left. You don't know if they're going to go left or right. So in the situation they go left, you can't pre-run. It's not safe. And so that's a trick that I think it would be cool if we get a map with a Shack and like it had basement in it, because then you could actually try that. That would be pretty funny.
Listen to me. I legitimately feel the size of my physical brain expanding right now. It's poking out.
Oh my God.
There's just so much. This is so cool. I had no idea Spirit had this much depth.
There's a lot of stuff to Spirit, actually.
That's crazy.
This is the thing. You have to really bear in mind the survivors can leave the loop at any moment, and that's why you're gonna keep a close ear on the audio to notice the moment the survivor tries to pull a quick one on you and like leave the loop. You know about the trick where they breathe loudly for a few seconds upon running. So if they're walking before you begin the chase, you won't even hear them when you phase. You won't even hear the breathing most of the time. So you need to force them to move, force them to run, so then you can phase. Then you're safe to start the actual phase, which is something, by the way, hundreds of hours of Spirit, and I wasn't even doing that. Like hundreds of hours, even against the best players, I wasn't doing that. This is like something like new gen, like within the last like year and a half or so that I've found out. And like years and years ago, like no one was doing that, and people were still like 4K'ing relentlessly with this killer. And like thing is, people underestimate Spirit so much. I'm not kidding. I actually do think like with the Iron Will nerf, she's obviously not as good now. But before the Iron Will nerf, I genuinely was in a position where like I thought she was better than Blight. Like especially after the Blight nerf. I thought she was better than Blight. I think pre-MDR nerf, I think she was better than Nurse and Billy. I think she was #1 killer in the game at that point with 40% speed MDR. And Iron Will was nerfed. And like, I don't think there was a world where she wasn't, but no one thought she was. And the reason is because there's like 3 people in the world who are good at this killer because no one really cares about Spirit. There's like 3 people who actually play this killer.
No, it's because the amount of depths that you're showcasing right now is something that I would never have an idea. Like for me, it was just like phase, listen to the sounds, and then, I mean, yeah, you got it. So if you're good at Spirit, you can hear better than others, but there's just so much that goes into the movements and stuff.
As a survivor, I bet you would go against a Spirit and you'd go, oh, here we go, another 50-50. You've said that 100 times, right?
I mean, 1,000 times.
In your head, 1,000 times. But at the highest level of Spirit, you're putting yourself in the opposite seat. You're going to force the survivor into a situation where they have no control over the outcome, which is the exact reason why, to be honest, I'd hate going against my own Spirit. And that's why, like I'll teach you like how to turn what would have been a 50-50 mind game on a pallet into what will be an 80-20 or a 90-10, depending on how well you can actually like hear. But let's do it. So we're gonna try this thing, like this thing where you stand here. We're gonna get you on Spirit. We're gonna have you phase like this, and then phase around and listen and hear like where to go, and like, you know, turn the palette into like, essentially you're forcing the survivor to make a play and then reacting to it. So you're proactively playing first, you're making the proactive play, and then you're reactionally playing, and that's where you're playing patient. You're not just like throwing yourself at them. You know, most of the time we're gonna try and get you to be like pretty much on top of the survivor when you're like hitting them, instead of like, you know, the phases where like you're like come around the corner like this. That's only really useful if the pallet is down and it's like a 50-50 and you're like, you know, going around. So yeah, let's do you want to switch sides? I go as survivor now, and you show me like a couple of the things I taught you. You like properly try them before we like go into a match.
Sounds good. But this
let's do it.
This has already helped. Like even just having these things in mind is already super good.
I mean, I'm excited to see you in game doing them, dude. It'll be sick. And you know what I was gonna say about the game? So the basement trick I showed you, it's so funny because that exists on the palette you did on the game. You know how you were like, you just broke it instantly? On the game, there's a trick where you can like phase onto those stairs, go underneath the survivor to the left, then back up and around to the pallet and hit them because they think you're on the other side of the pallet because there's no omnidirectional audio. So your audio is on the other side of the pallet for them. And then all of a sudden they're just right next to you. And there's so many pallets like that on the game. And like, I think that's really fun that the game has like multiple like really cool mind games and stuff that like you can pull off. There's multiple. So you know the corner where that one pallet spawns, where like I think it actually was the pallet you were on. Below it as well. It works below and like above and below because there's like 2 layers and like a staircase right next to you. So you have like infinite possibilities with the character. Another cool thing, Hanato actually has. You see these sandals I'm wearing?
Yeah.
These are going to reduce the footstep sounds I'm making by like, dude, by like half. I almost sound like I have light-footed. Like I pretty much have light-footed when I play with these pants. You aren't going to hear my footsteps. So I'm going to play a normal character.
Yeah.
Character I usually play is Nia when I do Spirit 1v1s because I think she's fun. Let me get you the nice fit going. Let's get the nice fit on for you.
I like the Hanato pronunciation.
Hanato? That's actually how you say it though.
No, yeah, I'm Brazilian.
You gotta say it like that. Oh, dude, hell yeah. Yeah, I like putting some effort into actually say the.
No, yeah, that
right.
was really good.
Like Talita.
Talita, yeah.
Talita? Yes.
I mean, your L is still kind of like you're speaking English, so it's kind of hard. Talita.
Yeah. Talita.
Yeah.
Talita. Dude, I'm trying.
No, you're doing great, bro.
Let me get some perks on. Okay, so what are we gonna teach you? Should I use Iron Will or no? I feel like no. I feel like you're better off learning without Iron Will first.
Nope.
And we can actually try one with Iron Will. So we'll do 2. We won't really do 1v1s, but we'll do like sort of phases. You know, you'll like try and phase on top of me.
Okay. No moving away around?
No. And also, I'm actually going to use a firecracker. So in one of your phases, you might expect to just randomly get blinded as you turn the corner.
Okay.
Which will kick you out of phase. And it's something in-game if you want to actually... Because the thing is, when you messaged me about this, originally I was like, okay, so I'm teaching you like the ins and outs of Spirit. I realized after watching one of your videos, like you were doing like the adept thing. But I think it's cool if you learn how to go against and as the killer. Because I feel like with the knowledge I've told you, you go against a good Spirit now, and you sort of like you reverse what I've told you, and you can use the information I've told you against the Spirit as well as like as her, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So you should now notice that against Spirit, there's a lot more things you'll now think about, which should help you like improve as and against her again, even more and more and more. And that's the thing about DBD. I think it's really cool that you're trying to learn every killer because that's actually how you get good at every killer and against every killer. To be good at them, you can learn how to verse them. Because then you know what you're looking for as a survivor. Okay, I'm behind you.
Okay.
I'm right here. Okay, so let's, for example, this is a good palette here, actually. This is a really good palette to try this on. Let's say, for example, we're playing this palette. Okay, so let's say we're playing this palette. I'm in chase with you right now, which is great for me because I could essentially just do this. And now, like, you don't really know where I'm going to go. So even if you start phase, you see I've just randomly started walking over here. Even if you start phase, once you get close enough to me, and like a lot of survivors won't do this, so I'll just keep walking. Once you get close enough to me that I think you could be trying to guess where I am and just randomly come out of phase, when I feel like you're lost, that's when I'll actually just run, which like a lot of people won't do that. They won't try and predict your actual coming out of the phase. Because if I run, then you're going to hear me, right? But if I predict the exact moment you're coming out and start running then it's like I get so much more distance than if I like walked until you came out, then ran. Because the momentum, like the survivor momentum. So let's play this palette. Let's say you're trying to phase on me. Because this is what I would do. Okay, ready? Try it. I would just stand doing that because I can hear you coming that way. Yeah. So now we're gonna do the same thing, but you're actually gonna take control of the palette. What you didn't do there was you gave me control of the palette. Now we're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna come to the palette. And now guess what's gonna happen? I'm either gonna throw this palette. So let's go back. Go back. I'm going to throw it. Now, what you're going to do, which is actually, we didn't do this when I was on Spirit, when I was teaching you actually, which I'm great. We've mentioned this now. You're going to stand directly here. Ready? Stand there. And now, watch my share screen and phase.
How do I do both?
Oh, are you a one monitor gamer?
No, I have two, but the other
so
one. Okay.
What's essentially going to happen is, I'm just going to explain it to you then. This is going to be really difficult because like you won't be able to see both at once. But from my perspective, if you're standing where I just said, so move out the way a second, So you're in the palette, but you're back a step. And the reason why you're going back a step is you're right here. You're in the center, back a step. And if you phase in that exact position and I ever vault this palette, I cannot vault back now because I will get stuck inside of your husk and can no longer move. You will trap the survivor inside of your husk. They are unable to move at all. So the moment you hear the vault, you can actually just go right back to where you were before and swing right here and the survivor will be stuck inside of you. Wait, in this exact position.
Where do I phase?
Where do you phase? Well, you just phase around. All you're trying to do is make me either one vault or make me like make some sounds over here. You can hear me running this way. You can hear me running this way. It doesn't matter. You're just going to listen for me. If you hear me away from the palette, great. If you ever at any moment hear me vault, that's bad. And so people who know how to verse the spirit, what they will actually try and do is they'll time it. So as you're about to come out of phase on this side of the palette, so like let's say you're here and you're about to swing at me, they'll try and time it so that they like vault into you as you swing and miss. And that's like that's really hard for someone to physically do that. So what
you were saying something about getting the server stuck on my husk.
Yeah.
Like, do I leave my husk in a specific spot, like right here, for example?
Yeah. So come over to this jungle gym palette. It might be a little bit easier to explain it here. So come over to this jungle gym palette. Let's say we're doing the thing. Okay, ready? And then I'm gonna throw the palette down. You're gonna stand in the center of the palette, but you're gonna go back almost like a step, like this. You see where I am on this palette right now? You see how I'm like back one step. You see how much distance there is between me and the palette? Like a step. And now ready? Phase around to hit me and I'll vault into it. Phase around to hit me. I didn't. Yeah, I actually did get stuck.
You got stuck?
I could. Yeah, do it again. I'll record for you and I'll show you the recording. Ready? Do it again and then keep phasing. Just don't stop phasing after you phase. Okay, well there, you actually were too far away. You were too far away. You were here. You need to be one step even closer, like right like this. Like you're only leaving a tiny gap in between the palette. Okay, do it. And then phase. No. I think you need to be even closer. Jesus.
Okay, so
it's like a bare step. It's a bare step. It'd be easy for me to show you if I was on Spirit. Because obviously I would be able to like, do it. But like... It's really hard as a survivor. Okay, do it again. No, it pushed me out. That's so weird.
It pushed you out?
That's so weird. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It just pushed me out of you.
Let me actually just try to be as close as physically possible. I took one tiny step, like a microscopical step back.
Get it. Yep, you got it.
I got it?
Perfect. Yeah, I'm stuck. And now I'll show you the recording.
Okay.
I'm share screening, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then let me go to recording and show you what happened. And then you can actually show the stream that if you want as well. Hold it up. Let me open up this recording. Okay, watch. So this is actually what you just did to me. You ready? You just did this. Watch. No option to vault back. I'm stuck.
Oh, okay.
Could not move an inch. Couldn't move an inch.
That is not intended, probably, right?
I don't know, dude, because you're essentially blocking me in between the husk and the pallet, and I'm just stuck in this like space where I just can't move at all. And so you can use that if you that exact distance you took away from the pallet, you do that every single time. If ever a survivor vaults back into you, they cannot move. They can't move at all. It's been in the game for years. It's been in the game literally for years. So I don't. If it's not intended, then they should fix it. That's all I'm saying. I mean, dude, there's so many techs that you can no clip killers by running through them after they hit you.
Yeah.
So much stuff.
But that's so crazy. That's like I had no. That's never happened to me on Survivor before, for sure.
Because no one does that as spirit. I'm telling you, there's only a couple spirits in the world who will ever do that to you, or even try to. Like, literally, maybe a handful.
Okay, so pre-drop shack pallet, like it would work the same way.
Try the basement mine game and see if you get back up to throw yourself at the pallet. I'm gonna watch your stream and see if you do it right. You know what's even greater about what you just did too? What you just did is cool too, because you stood here and then you started phasing around. So then even if I vaulted like super early and then heard you running back, I would have no time to react to vault back. Because you would have gotten me stuck in your husk.
Yeah.
So you just used both tricks I taught you and put them into one. The only problem is, if you're there, let's say you're right next to the pallet and you phase, I can just do this. You're never gonna reach me with your phase. You will never reach me, and that's why I like to do it in the doorway, because then if the survivor, like if you're in the doorway as soon as they throw the pallet down, even if they run away, you can actually reach them with that phase 90%, 80% of the time. Okay, so do you want to try like chasing me now? Just go for it.
Yeah, let's go.
There's still a few pallets on that. Let's just do it. Let's just try it.
I'm on 300 MS though, so I don't know what that's gonna change.
It's
really,
okay.
But
I'll just run. I mean, yeah, we should have gone on your server, but it's okay. It's okay. we'll just play it as if with the things I've taught you. Yep, perfect. Literally perfect. I'm gonna try and make this pallet here.
okay, you moved away.
That's why MDL's bad, because right there you wouldn't have known where I was, like at all.
I mean, I don't know where you are. I see you.
On the other side of the bus. You see me? Perfect. And I'm just gonna run, and then I'm running back, and then you get the hit. Beautiful. Literally,
did you
perfect.
give me that, or did you actually fall for it?
I mean, I was just running.
Okay.
I was just running. Okay. I'm not gonna walk. I'm not gonna walk.
But could you hear me going this way and then turning back and going the other way perfectly?
Yeah. I can hear where you are at all times when I'm on Survivor. But that's only because I've played against the spirits so much. Like, I don't know if you know, but we used to have like a massive spirit main on our team. But yeah, I've played against the spirit probably for like hundreds and hundreds of hours now. So I can pretty much pinpoint your exact location at all times when you're phasing.
Okay.
Like, to be honest with you, in that situation, usually, like, you're phasing, in my opinion, you're from too far away. Unless you're the best spirit in the world, you're probably not hitting me on that bus right there with that phase. But that's only because this is like, we're just practicing the running thing. So I'm towards Shack now. If you want to come towards Shack. I'm injured now. So this should be a lot easier. Okay, I want you to try and catch me towards this area of the map now.
Okay.
I can hear you at the pallet. I can hear you going around. I can hear you coming back to the pallet.
Okay. So you're just gonna be inside of Shack.
Yep.
So the trick here is the same thing, right? So how would you do this?
I mean, here you'd come around. I only vault when I hear you right here, where I am as Survivor. When I hear you standing right where I'm standing, that's when I'll vault, and you shouldn't have time to get back in time. You see?
I think I swung a little late.
You won't have time. And that's, well, it's not even that. It's not even that, though, because, like, remember, you're on 300 ping. So it's, like, a little bit different. But, like, as soon as I can, like, hear your spirit is phasing my direction, you're, like, here. If I vault at that exact time, you shouldn't get the hit. You should never get the hit. Because you got to remember, you're phasing at almost the same speed as what your actual swing is.
Okay. I don't think I could have made that, even if I
But that's the thing is you have to remember as well, is like not a lot of this. I'm trying to say this in the least egotistical way possible as well. Not a lot of people are going to hear exact positioning on you and be like, oh, he's done the basement thing. Like there, I wasn't watching your stream. I originally thought you were going around, and once I heard you get close, I knew you were in basement, so I vaulted back.
Yeah.
But the average survivor you go against in pubs is gonna be like, oh, he's doing the basement trick and vault back, right? Like no one's doing that.
Yeah. Literally,
It's
no
like,
one.
yeah, it's really hard to explain that, but not a lot of people are actually going to be hearing exact location of your spirit. They'll hear somewhat where you are. They won't hear exactly where you are, and that's just because I've played so much spirit as well. Like it's all about pinpointing sounds, right?
Yeah,
It's also I don't know. If,
no, yeah. Finish what you're saying.
Yeah, go on.
No,
So what you said about the,
okay, so I
you want me
talk.
to finish my thing? Yeah, you talk first, and then I'll say something.
I wanted to go back to the palette thing, the one you taught me earlier. I feel like that's more practical and that's more usable. You know, the thing where I force you to move and then I phase. I just wanna,
you play
like,
proactive and then reactive.
Yeah. So let's say you're right here. This palette is up. You're running away from me towards the palette. Instead of stopping and phasing.
I'd set here. Yeah.
Yeah. What would I do?
So
here?
phase here. Do what you would usually do. See? And then so what I would do as a survivor is, so you're gonna come around and try and swing at this, right? So I would do as a survivor, I would fake running this way, and then as I hear you about here, I would fake running this way, and then I would crouch and then come back. And when I crouch, I cut my audio in like half immediately. My survivor sounds are in half. So then if you are planning on doing this, then coming back, it's a higher chance of me juking you because I crouch here and come back, and then you've just passed me here to swing at the pallet, because this is where you come out to swing at the pallet, right? You'd come out right here. So that's actually, I use that to my advantage. I crouch and then run past you as you would come out. Here, essentially what you actually just did is you came out here and then you went around like this. But if you'd have swung when you originally came out, you wouldn't have reached the pallet. So you would have wanted to stay in for an extra second there to like swing at it.
Okay,
but you should have, what you should try to do is, if you don't hear me crying right here, where I am right now, if you don't hear me crying right here, and you think there's even a chance I'm not on that pallet, that's when you play patient. Because if I'm here, even if I'm crouching, you should still be able to pinpoint this location on the crying. You hear it, like the subtle crying. As you're coming around, you're keeping a full ear, I would say a full eye, but doesn't make sense. Keeping a full ear on that crying sound. And as you're coming around, it should still be in that direction, in that direction. If you ever hear it leave that direction, like let's say even, for example, like you come around that way and I just run this way. You should hear the running, you should hear the crying, like you should be hearing other sounds that aren't the survivor just completely standing still. And that's when you have to immediately react to knowing the survivor is no longer there, and you have to like be more patient than just this like kind of like rushed phase.
Okay, so let's just do one chase where like you just try your hardest not to let me kill you.
Okay, let's go. Also, I would never vault because it's a 50-50 in that situation. So I run around because you phased from such a like far distance. Here I'm just saving life. So then I can hit it on this pallet.
Were you crouched? Oh, I can hear your screen share. That's why I'm so confused.
Oh my god, yeah, you need to turn that off. Oh my god.
That's what was confusing me. Okay. Oh, on my screen that was super
also
close.
on your if I was on your ping, you probably actually would have hit me there, because I'm playing based on like check spots for my ping.
No, I didn't reach you, but on my screen it was super close.
Yeah. A lot of people vault, like panic vault, a lot more than I do, by the way. I play fully based on your audio and where you're going in the moment, which is like, that's actually how you want to play against Spirit. That was good though. That was good. That was a good try. I know exactly what you tried to do there. It was really smart. And like I like that you're thinking out of the box on like how you should be playing this, right? Because what you just did is literally what I do to people sometimes, which is like crazy that you've like thought of that idea so fast.
But
I think that's really, really respectable.
Thank you. But
how would you make it all the way around? That's really
it?
good. Well, in that situation, you don't, but you have to remember that like you almost made that around to me. Like if I'd have like gotten stuck inside of your husk like completely, and then you used every last inch of your phase And as well, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Pause. It's actually really important. You know, as Survivor, how you like hug the shack really tight. In your phases, are you hugging the wall as physically tight as you could be, or are you like going around like this? Because that will have a massive effect on whether or not you made the hit on shack there. You need to be hugging that wall as if you are a survivor trying to run around the shack and barely reach the window. You need to be really efficient with the hugging of the actual structures you're looping, because guess what?
It makes all the difference.
The difference between you hugging the loop or not is an extra 5% movement speed. Like, think about it. That, like, it might even be you're away from the wall an inch, but an inch throughout the whole of shack, that's the equivalent of your phase literally having an extra 5% movement speed. Which brings you up from Muddy Cat being a 10% to it's now a 15% because you just hugged the wall. That extra 5% with Spirit is the whole world. Like, you will get the hit or you won't.
Okay. I mean, I got it down, I think.
I
don't think I can catch you, but
No,
I think
you
I
can.
can
You
catch...
can. Come on, let's go. Right over here. On.
Okay. Where did you go? Did you run
This way,
behind
this
me?
way. To your right. Behind you. Over here. Yeah, this way. Let's go.
You wouldn't
Running
face
to-
here.
Not the best spell, I guess, but you could. Nice, dude.
I mean, but that was a
That was
guess.
perfect.
I don't feel like I did that. I don't feel like that was my skill.
Or did you like come out and I was like randomly running into you?
No, I
mean,
heard you were
it'll happen,
somewhat
though.
like here, like you were around this, but you just happened to be in a dead zone here. So
Fair enough. I mean, you still phased, like you still tracked me right. Like you're using the scratch marks in the floor
I
and
see
stuff
the
to know my
grasses,
location. And keep in mind when you phase, I'm actually gonna show you this because I already showed you this on that palette there. But on loops like this, it's so much more important. When you phase, places like this is almost like let's call this a checkpoint. I'm making this up. This isn't what it's called. Let's call this a checkpoint. This is a checkpoint where a good survivor will go like this, and then you'll come back and they'll go like this, and they'll come back and you go like this, and they'll keep doing this until you come out of phase and like swing and miss. And that is because like we're imagining that palette is not in the picture right now. We're imagining I'm in a dead zone. And I'm like trying to use the crouch and then come back, and every single time you pass and come back and realize I've gone the other way, you keep coming, and eventually good spirits will probably come out of phase, be like, wait, you're not in front of me, and then turn around. You might get a bit of distance on them. But like, if you're really patient with it, you need to keep an eye, because like they're keeping an eye too. It works even on like the best players in the entire world. It doesn't matter who it is. This trick I'm showing you right now is going to work against them, where you like keep running back and forth as they're like crossing you. Because they're going to keep hearing you're not where they are, right? They're going to hear you run the other way, and then you're going to crouch and go back into them again. And they're going to keep crossing you. And so you need to keep an eye on people actually trying to do that, the little crouch trick. And then if ever you, like, just try and keep an eye on the audio and make sure you're not like letting the survivor trick you with something, you know?
fair enough.
Okay. I think honestly, I think you might have it, bro. I think you're fine. I think you go into a match now, you absolutely obliterate all the survivors,